Hello, and welcome to the Microsoft Fabric AI Hack Together Kickoff. Ready, set, hack, do more with AI and Microsoft Fabric. My name is Paul DiCarlo. I'm the lead for data advocacy in Microsoft Developer Relations, and I'm joined with an extra special guest today, the one and only Kim Manis, who is the Vice President of Product for Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. She'll be joining us in just a second here. And we're going to get started with telling you everything that you need to know in order to get started with this hackathon, how to register for it, some good resources. We'll talk about the prizes. We'll talk about great places where you can get help and that sort of thing along the way. And we'll get that rolling in just a moment here. So if you are following along, the first thing you're going to want to do is head on over to our Fabric Global AI Hack Together repo page. You can get there by heading to aka.ms/hacktogether/fabric-AI or scan the QR code in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And that should be able to get you directly to the page I'm about to show here in my browser. So you'll see here, this is the landing page for the repo, which is essentially the one-stop place that you need to go for all information pertaining to this Hack Together event. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll see some of the interesting details. The first big important thing is when this thing is running. So it's actually going from February 15th to March 4th. So do keep in mind that's going to give you a little bit over 2 weeks plus an extra sort of weekend to work on your hacks. And the theme of this hack, in case you can't tell by the title, is the building AI solutions with Microsoft Fabric. So this is our playground for allowing you to work with all of the workloads that are available inside of the product offering, as well as being able to work with others, hack together with individuals really across the world to build interesting AI solutions. Now, one of the really interesting things that I would like to share with you is the grand prize for this hackathon consists of a few things. There's a cash prize that is awarded to the winning team or individual who wins. And that's going to also include passes to attend the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference. So if you're not familiar with that, that is an event that's happening in Las Vegas on March 26th through 28th, with workshops happening on the 24th, 25th, and 29th. And we've also got a great offer for you. If you do register using the code MSCUS, you'll get a $100 discount for that registration. And you'll also be able to get right here to the page to sign up for this at https:/fabricconf.com. So this is really exciting. And this is the point where I definitely want to bring in Kim, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what you can expect here for the community conference.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Super excited about this hackathon. I can't wait to see what everybody builds. I definitely want to give a plug for the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference. This is the first ever in-person conference. The entire product team is going to be there running sessions. I think we have over 100 sessions from product team, MVPs, customers using Fabric. So it's really just the place, whether you're brand new to Fabric, whether you're a Power BI user trying to figure out, what should I use? What do I need to know about Fabric? Whether you're a data engineer, data scientist, an admin, a business decision maker, we got stuff for everybody. So this is going to be a really fun conference, and there's going to be a lot of community opportunities to meet people, a lot of fun sessions. So really excited and awesome that the winners get free passes. So I can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah, agree. I think this is a cool thing, right? Like, yeah. and of course, like, I can't make promises to this, but like, if you come and you have built something awesome, we definitely want to be introducing you to people in the product team. So I'll be there in person. I'll be your liaison to take you across meeting the individuals who have built this awesome product. And we'll see what we can do with what we see getting built by individuals on the ground there. Now, going back to the hackathon prep, all of you are here currently for the session that's kicked off on the 15th. And we put together this whole roadmap. And what I want to mention here, it's really interesting here, is in this roadmap, we're actually going to teach you how to build various different types of AI solutions with Fabric. And this is just the beginning. We're just giving the kickoff and the rules here. But if you're new to Fabric, don't know where to start, just 2 days ago, we actually kicked off a 1-hour webinar that goes through all of the workloads, and we'll teach you all about how to do that. And then following next week, beginning on Tuesday, we'll start with the actual technical workshops. So these are going to include things like building a custom object detection model on Fabric using the Snapshot Serengeti data set, building a retrieval augmented generation application with Fabric and Azure OpenAI, and creating, evaluating, and scoring a churn prediction model. That's a special session too, because we'll actually have Amir Jafari from the product team joining for that one. And of course, we'll then conclude by wrapping up and showing you how to submit all these for the actual contest. Now, what's the most important thing here, Kim? I think to get started, folks are going to definitely need to register. So
yep.
I will flash that link here really quick for folks. If you have not already registered, you can again visit the long link at the bottom of the screen, AKMS Hack Together /Fabric AI's register, or you can find the link within the GitHub repo I was just showing. Or if you're one of the newer mainstream future forward individuals with a smartphone device, you can click that QR code and get navigated here as well. So what I want to mention here too is this is but one of really 5 live streams that we're going to be running. And really quick, just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, if you want to add these to your calendar, we make that very, very easy. There's an add to calendar button. This will pop it right into your Outlook, and you'll have the ability to join all of these. Now, Kim, I don't know if you knew this because this is new as of like a few days ago, but I want to mention a few things here. One, for folks who are getting started, they're going to need to have access to Fabric.
Yeah.
And what we've done here, we've gone ahead and created a blog article that will get you access to that. This is the Accessing Fabric for Developer Startups and Enterprises. And I want to mention here, this process has recently changed. It's actually undergone a bit of a revamp. And Kim, maybe you could speak to that a little bit. I know now we're talking about signing up with the new Microsoft M365 trial.
Yeah, so, one thing we've taken a lot of care in Microsoft Fabric is making it really easy to get started and not requiring a credit card or IT team or anything to get started, right? So if you don't have a Microsoft tenant yet, you need to go create a tenant, and that's the kind of, create a AAD subscription and create your tenant, right? This is free. You can go do it in either the Azure portal or in Microsoft 365. So super easy to get started. A lot of you probably already have a Microsoft tenant because you might have an Outlook email or an Exchange email or use SharePoint or whatever already. Once you have that, it's just a matter of signing up with your email address, logging in, and we can provision a trial like that. And so that really gets you going to start all the resources. You get a 60-day trial and you can just get up and running, try everything, and get going.
Awesome. Well said. And again, if anybody's ever having trouble with that, we're going to show you where you can discuss with us and we'll help you get that set up. But if you're looking for this article, you can find this at aka.ms/upgrade-to-fabric, or also click on the QR code to proceed there. So here's something also interesting. So we're giving you access to Fabric, but we're also giving you access to a full discussion board on the Fabric community site where you can actually speak with fellow hackers. And in addition to that, be able to route any sort of questions that you might have regarding the product. You can even submit things like product feedback there as well. So if you haven't already, and here's another link, this is at community.fabric.microsoft.com, or the QR code. This will bring you to our Fabric community site, which has forms set up for Power BI, Synapse, Data Factory, and the Data Activator workloads. So if you have questions or you're interested in learning more about those particular areas, you can jump into those specific forums and do that. But it gets better. So while there's this awesome community that we definitely want everyone to be a part of, there's also a forum here set up specifically for Hack Together. And here's what's crazy. This thing kicks off today, Kim, and you can see there's already a lot of activity happening. Like, people want to do this. In fact, I want to say right now, and this number is expected to grow in the coming weeks, there's 500 plus individuals officially registered for the hackathon.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the cool hacks, and I love that you guys are all congregating in the Fabric community forums, because this is really the place to go and ask and answer questions on Fabric. Our product team monitors this closely. Our customer support team monitors this closely. So this is really the resource. If there's kind of one place to gather, it's the Fabric community. So I love that the hackathon is really, that's the gathering place for it. Super cool.
So what I also want to share with the attendees here too is in the introduce yourself thread, specifically this one, we're actually seeing individuals come in here and sharing a lot of information about, what their skill set is and that sort of thing. If you go up here, you'll see conversations where people are actually forming and joining teams with each other. So if you haven't, if you don't actually have like experience with the product, or you want to just network, find someone fun to hack with over these next 2 weeks, would definitely recommend jump in here. It's happening. It's live. There's people across the world connecting with each other to build great AI solutions with Microsoft Fabric. So just to reiterate on this, there is the community site. And of course, there's also another thing I want to mention here too, the Fabric Career Hub. So you might be wondering, what is all of this going to be worth to me aside from the glory of course, winning that grand prize, going to the Fabric Community Conf? Well, you might not know this, but getting experience on the product is actually setting you on this path to become a Fabric Analytics engineer. This is but one of many group learning activities that we've gotten kicked off as part of our community engagement across the Fabric product and ecosystem. And if you head here, you'll find different things to take what you're going to learn over these 2 weeks and go even further. Now, I could probably spend the entire time talking about just this webpage here. So I'll leave that to most of you to dig in, but I want to cover some of the high points here. There's a Cloud Skills Challenge that links to modules on Microsoft Learn that if you complete, will give you a discount on the DP600 Fabric Analytics Engineer certification. But it goes better than that. We've got these Learn Together sessions where you can actually learn from MVPs and members of the product team the actual content in the Cloud Skills Challenge. So not only do you get a discount, you get free training, potentially live if you've tuned into the live sessions, but there's also recordings of those out there as well. And if you're worried about prepping for the exam, well, we've just launched this week. The exam cram sessions are live, in addition to practice tests and all of this to get you ready at the end of the day to make sure that you're ready to sit for that exam DP600, implementing analytic solutions using Microsoft Fabric. So currently in beta. And Kim, I don't know if you had any more details that you might want to add to really both of these aspects, the Career Hub aspect and the overall cert.
So, one thing, I'll just share my own experience here. I've been on the Power BI team. I joined Power BI nearly 8 years ago, so just after it GA'd. And one of the things that's kept me on this team for as long as it has is just the stories from our customers and our users in our community on just how they've gotten upskilled, right? And how they've changed their careers, how they've gotten promoted, how they've shifted gears, how they've grown their business using these tools that we build, right? And so one of the big things with Microsoft Fabric that I'm excited about is that upskilling motion and that opportunity for people to make real changes in their careers and real growth in their careers and in their businesses. And if you don't know where to start, if there's just so much in the product, the Career Hub is really that place where you can just wrap your head around all the opportunity and all the ways to get started and figure out what makes sense for you and figure out at what pace you want to learn and how you want to grow in your analytics career. So I just love the Career Hub because there's just so much, and this is the place to get started and really learn. And it ends with DP 500 because that is the proven, you are certified, you know how to implement as an analytics engineer in Fabric. But there's this whole journey along the way to get there that I think oftentimes, is not clear to people. And this makes it super clear how to get started, super clear how to engage and learn from others. So, I just can't wait to hear the stories from all of you about how Fabric is impacting your careers and your businesses.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I just love the way that this community is starting to shape. Of course, coming from the Power BI world, this is probably familiar territory. But for folks who are joining us new, I just want to mention that this isn't just a learn on your own sort of thing. When you get into the Microsoft Fabric world and the Fabric community, there's a number of different ways that you can get support from individuals. And we're always working there to lift each other up. So definitely we welcome you if you are new, and if you are a seasoned veteran who's coming from the previous, I hope you're excited to be joining us for more awesome interactivity and things like that that are going to be coming from this activity as well as others. So another really interesting thing that I want to share here is, of course, we're talking about this being an AI-focused hack. So a lot of the questions are going to be, well, what should I build and how can I build this? And what kind of tools are out there to enable us? Well, I'm really happy to announce this, that if you are planning on hacking with Microsoft Fabric and OpenAI, you can actually go to our AI access page. And this is going to give you documentation on how to use an Azure OpenAI proxy that doesn't require an Azure subscription to use. In fact, it's kind of bizarrely easy to set this up. The documentation's here, so you can read through and instructions. I'm that kind of person who, like, I go to the docs, I try the thing, and then if it gets broken, I come back here. I can tell you there's a lot of interesting things in store for you here. We're going to give you access to GPT 3.5, 3.5 Turbo, GPT-4, embeddings, even DALL-E 4 within this OpenAI proxy, and it doesn't require any Azure subscription to use this. So you can make this available in your projects. So I'll go ahead and skip over to where I've sort of demonstrated this, what this proxy looks like. Of course, I've prompted it here. You know, I'm participating in a Fabric hackathon that focuses on building AI solutions. What are some good ideas that you could suggest? And it's giving us some good ideas. I want to come back to this. I actually want to come back to this.
I love this. Get the AI to build your AI hack. Perfect.
That's right. The AI for all the things. But if you are starting from here and you don't know how to get started, it's super simple. You can click on this link to launch the URL, click login with GitHub, copy your API key, click on Playground, paste your API key, authorize, and now you're ready. That's it. Just like that. Well, I was ready.
This is live, folks.
That's live, folks. But that could be a too many requests thing since we just showed folks this. But we will scale to your demand if needed. So I do want to mention you can use this, and not only have we given you this access to this, there's also inside of that documentation, you're going to see examples on how you can call this from familiar Python environments. Also, if you're building, say, a client app that's communicating somehow across the way with one of your data sources, you can work with this in .NET as well. So we've given you examples here, and I would definitely suggest to tune in next Thursday for the RAG workshop that's scheduled, as it's going to make use of this Azure OpenAI service quite heavily in that live stream. So going back to our repo where we've got everything going, I want to make sure that folks do understand that final projects will be submitted at midnight on March 3rd. So I believe that's a Sunday evening. We have to cut it off there. So we're going to give you the extra weekend to hack, give you that extra time. And then Monday morning, I'm going to have the greatest time in the world opening up 500 plus Christmas presents. Kim, I'm sure you'll probably want to join for that, as well as other members of the product team. But we can't wait to see what's getting built. Now, one of the questions I hear all the time, though, is, well, what should I build? And this is a tough chicken egg problem because we haven't had this hackathon before. So how do we build something? Well, I found something really interesting here that I think kind of meets our criteria. So what we're asking for is to post your project in a reproducible fashion to a GitHub repo URL so that it's documented. If people wanted to pull it down, build the same thing you built, they could do that, as well as a video that sort of showcases what's going on. So I scoured the GitHub universe and found this project that I thought really stood on its own as, like, this would be an all-star submission. This is the Tracking International Space Station with Microsoft Fabric. You're probably aware of this one, Kim. It's an awesome use of real-time KQL, takes data from the ISS and actually utilizes Fabric to give you a real-time view and a live Power BI report of where this space station that's literally in outer space is, wherever it happens to be geographically on top of the globe. So you'll see that it's put together really well. There's a simple documentation that I've described this to you in just less than a minute, right? And that's what we sort of want to see here. And also, there's a number of videos that have been produced about this. Some of them a bit more lengthy, but I'm just looking for, or the team is looking for, just a short kind of like 5-minute, give us a quick overview. and explain to us how it's solving a real world problem. Give us that link to the GitHub repo and include the video in action. So this would be a good example, but I want to make sure, being specific here, it could be better by incorporating Azure OpenAI into the solution or making use of Copilot features. And this is where we get into the actual prize categories. So I want to make sure too that folks, if you don't know where to get started, you're looking for materials, those are documented here as well. But I really want to spend some time here going over what we're actually looking for. This is probably the biggest, most important piece here. So we'll be judging, looking at the alignment to a hackathon category, the innovation and impact, the quality of the documentation and reproducibility, and the presence of that video demonstration. So it should be very, very clear what we're asking here. But now let's talk about the fun stuff, the prizes. Okay, so we alluded to this one earlier. The grand prize winner, the best of the best. This will reward a solution that meets all criteria and wows everybody. It should be a slam dunk. Although I imagine these are going to be hard to pick. But this is going to be a really, really good solution, has potential real world value, innovative use of AI. And the prize here, as we mentioned, is going to be up to 3 passes for you and your team members to attend the Fabric Community Conference that's happening in March, and up to $500 USD per team member. So that's a handsome reward. That'll help you.
That's pretty good. I didn't know cash prizes were coming with us. Now I'm going to enter too. So,
but it gets better because you know what I think is a cool prize too. Obviously, Community Conf is the best one, but I have to say better than cash, because something you can't buy with cash is Fabric swag packages, including the hoodies and the blankets.
Yes. I didn't even know we had Fabric blankets.
I didn't know that either. So now I think this might be the only way to get one.
Okay.
I don't know about y'all. I have 2 Fabric shirts, and that's so that I can wear one every day. That is why.
Through the wash. Love it.
But getting into the subcategories here, and these are just as important. Each of these is going to have a similar prize award of $500 USD per team member. So if you're on a team of 3, that could be $1,500 total for the winning team. And again, the individualized Fabric swag package for all of the individuals there. These include best real world application. And this is kind of a catch-all here. So this could be a solution that solves a real world problem with Fabric by implementing any concept or collection of concepts related to AI. For example, using RAG or retrieval augmented generation to fine-tune an LLM, training an object detection model. Hint, hint, we'll show you how to do that on Tuesday. And anomaly detection, predictive forecasting, or any other application of AI within Fabric, of which there are quite a few. If you click to this documentation, you'll be pleasantly surprised. The next one is a bit more specific and partially why we have set up the Azure OpenAI proxy. And this is the best use of Fabric plus Azure OpenAI. So specifically uses Azure OpenAI alongside Fabric. This could be a document analysis service to semantically tag content using vector search. It could even use something like DALL-E 2 or DALL-E 3 or DALL-E 4 to generate images based on semantic processing of text data. So if it uses Azure OpenAI and it fits inside of Fabric, it definitely fits into this category. And finally, the best use of Copilot for Microsoft Fabric. Now, I do realize not everyone may have the ability to utilize this today, but this is coming. In fact, I want to say on March 1st, there will be a sort of change into how you can access the Copilot features. But this one's very simple and straightforward. A solution that makes use of one or more Copilots for Fabric, and this could include any combination of the above. Now, I mention this because today I think the only way to do this is if you have an F64 or P1 capacity. That is changing in the next 2 weeks. I wanted to capture this a little bit earlier, but I will mention that. So for folks who have access to this, that'll definitely be a category that likely not everyone will be able to participate in. But if we do get the ability to unlock this sooner, I'll of course make an announcement in our community forums about that. I want to just mention that. But that doesn't just limit you here. I will say, I'll open this up, and I'm saying this on the record. If you use any Copilot at Microsoft in conjunction with Microsoft Fabric, just to make this fair, we'll go ahead and consider it for inclusion in this category. And Kim is nodding along, so I think we've got to go ahead to do that. Yeah. So this is awesome. So in conclusion, we are nearing the end of this kickoff event. If you do have questions, I will tend to some of those after the live stream chat. And also would mention, if there's something that wasn't answered here, head on over to the community forums and drop these into our Hack Together channel, where we're tracking this and all other communication that's happening across the event. So before we conclude here, I just want to make sure, does everyone understand everything they need to do? Kim, can you give us a recap on what folks should be expecting in the next 2 weeks?
I'm so excited. So they got to make sure they sign up on the hackathon page, so we know they are participating. You got to get your free trial up and running. You got to join the community, engage there, ask questions, and just build something really cool. And one thing I'm so excited about, and I don't know if you know this, Paul, but we have a big hackathon culture within the engineering team. So we do regular hackathons, and we always have a demo day where our leadership team comes and participates and judges those hackathons. And a lot of features have actually come out of our engineering team doing hackathons. And I just can't wait to see what you guys come up with and what gets inspired within the product team because of this. So just know that this is one of our favorite events, and I'm so glad we're finally officially making this a community event as opposed to just within the engineering team.
So to add on to that, I want to say I did include the wording here: winning solutions and or product feedback may be considered for integration into the Fabric roadmap. So what you build here could definitely inspire the future of the product. So we're really curious to see what gets built here. Now, before we go, Kim, I definitely want to. It was fun asking Azure OpenAI this question. I'm participating in a hackathon that focuses on building AI solutions. What are some good ideas? It's cool to ask the AI this, but I want to ask the actual person, the VP who is in charge of the product, what is a good, cool idea, in your opinion, to build for this hackathon?
Man, here's what I would love to see is really using the full power of Fabric, right? Because there's so much to Fabric, right? Whether it's data integration, data warehousing, data science, data engineering, all the real-time capabilities, Power BI. So the thing that I think would get me mostly excited is really using all of it and connecting all of those dots together. The other, things that would be super cool is something that really wasn't possible before Fabric. Really think about the things that used to be much harder, either because AI wasn't there for you or the deep integration wasn't there. So that I'm super excited to see. I think, also just solving real problems, right? I think my hackathon for the week, I got for Christmas a weather station in my backyard, and I set it up. And of course, my husband's like, "Why do we need a weather station? What are you going to do with this?" And I'm like, obviously I'm going to use Microsoft Fabric to project the weather in our backyard. So that's my hackathon project personally.
I want to say I followed that on LinkedIn, Kim, and that's another great suggestion for folks. While you're building, keep us updated. Use hashtags, #MSFabric, right? Like, let us know what you're building. We'll be scouring, looking at those sort of things. I want to say we actually do have a hashtag we're using on most of our LinkedIn posts. So we'll go ahead and share some of that as well. But in conclusion, we are almost at time. I want to make sure that everyone knows where to get all of the session resources for what you've seen today. So Kim, you summarized this perfectly. And also you heard it from her first that the way to wow, if you want to wow the Kim Manis, VP of the product, is to utilize all of the features in Fabric. So the name of the game here is how many workloads can I string together to really make something new and innovative that does something that's never been done before. So if you're looking for additional links and where to get started, you can head to AKMS/Fabric Hack Together. This will bring you to the final destination where you can start to build all of your projects, and it'll have all of our links compiled into one single easy to view area. So Kim, I want to thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody out here watching and to all the people that are going to hack. I can't wait to see what everybody builds.
Awesome. All right. Well, you heard it first. Tune in to the next live streams that are coming up on the roadmap. We'll see you over the next 2 weeks, and stay in touch with us on the community forums. We'd love to see what you build. Cheers. We'll see you all.
See ya.